Alright, this is a quick short video. So when I say I don't like Xubuntu, what do I really mean? It's more personal preference it is. It's, you see, I'm using Xubuntu. This is Xubuntu actually. I'm using this here for my gaming laptop because they can install my NVIDIA graphic card, and this is a big thing to me. So it ran here, Linux, strict Xubuntu. It is Xubuntu. Believe me. Here, no, it doesn't tell you, really, doesn't it? Screen fetch would maybe do. I don't have it installed. However, believe me, this is Ubuntu. I'm just, what did I install? I installed something. It's struggling here a little. I don't know why and what it's doing. I play World of Tanks. This is a very good example for how a good game gets destroyed from incompetence, lies, arrogance, in a huge amount of arrogance, censorship worse than in the Third Reich, I would think, greed beyond understanding, and game rigging which drives all the people away, and they have lost, I think, 20,000 players, or I don't know. You know, they always say they have 1 million players. You just never see them because we always play with the same people. If I would guess, they have in North America maybe 30,000 players left, and not millions, what they say. However, I got sidetracked here. Then I play War Thunder, realistic battle games, so I like that. And after install Steam, I was surprised to not find it in the software center. Steam is not in the software center. How is that possible in Ubuntu or Xubuntu? Updates. See, I'm not a fan of the software center. It is. I install Spotify right now. It is, in my opinion, sluggish, very much, to say it with my nicest words. But that has nothing to do with Xubuntu, in my opinion. Is Ubuntu bad? No. I think Jack Orklaus said that already. Ubuntu was mandatory and the driving force to get Linux where it is right now, and they did a really good job. And all the numbers what people how use Linux, I think multiply them by 10 and you get to the right numbers. I do not believe the numbers that tell us it. You know, Winston Churchill said once he doesn't believe in any statistic he hasn't counterfeit himself. So, or manipulated by himself. So I do the same. I do not believe anything mainstream is telling us. Yeah. I mean, Ubuntu, I just think, I mean, yeah, Dirk, what are you saying? Linux Mint, actually, and I must say Cinnamon, got it right. Yes, it's bloated, it's fully loaded, but they have the only tool to write the FreeBSD USB stick image file onto a USB stick. I haven't found anybody else who can do that. Even if I use our DD command line, it does not do it right. It does not boot. GhostBSD is a different issue. You can do it with the ISO file, which is nice. They're just working absolutely nice. But FreeBSD, I got my install my USB stick. I'm not touching it because Linux Mint is the only distribution I have found having an image writer which could do it. I think the OpenSUSE image writer can do it too, but I haven't used OpenSUSE for quite some time now, and I don't think I will. I'm not an OpenSUSE man anymore. Use that too with KDE, of course. So yeah, no, Ubuntu is a nice distribution. So they drove it really forward. I haven't finished yet. I get always interrupted. Jack Orklaus made a video about Xubuntu 18.04, I think. So I'm really waiting for April. I think I postpone all installations until that is done, and then I want to see what's coming out. Run some tests before I really redo my gaming laptop. And I don't think I have to redo more. It's more rearranging, you know, getting the MX16 partition, the MX16 out of it. And so just gaining a few gigabyte every little helps. I don't know, I'm yawning here. Dirk, you can't make videos yawning. And yeah, so to me, but here's the thing, and that's the most important. I think Jack Orglaw said that in one of his comments here on my videos, that some people are really just say, oh, this is the only one distribution you can run, this is the only one. Am I biased with my Calculate Linux? Yeah, because I like it. Is it the best one? To me, it's very good. Like if you want something what just runs, and it runs everything, that's actually, if you stay with the long time support versions from Ubuntu, you will be fine. For me, for example, I don't need the latest, but I like the idea of having a rolling release, and that's why I run Arch for a while, but the permanent update warm me out. And with Gentoo, yes, I have updates, but it's not so. If you overdue, if you don't update every day, but you just update after 2 weeks, you will be still fine. There are not so many updates, maybe 100 coming in, and they don't take long with Calculate Linux. It's not like compiling with Gentoo, because they do a really good job having binaries running. And so I'm very happy with it. But this was this time not about Calculate Linux. Having said this, I think I mentioned that before. I had Linux Mint and I wanted to run it on my Pavilion laptop from my wife because I thought I get her to Linux again. And man, I couldn't be more wrong. I put Linux Mint on and I had all the issues, and that's not a long time ago, half a year. Yeah, maybe 3/4 year. And I had, when Sonia was out, I think, already or something. However, I had the old issues with the dropping wireless network. It connected, then your wireless network vanished, then randomly it came back and you could not. I tried some fixes, they never worked, updates never did it. So I thought, what happened here? Oh, you had that in Ubuntu, I don't know, was it 10.04? No, it's, or even 8.04, whatever. And now we have it back. I could not do this because that was crucial. That was my wife's laptop. Yeah, just imagine, I put her Linux Mint on and it just doesn't do it. Then I put on Xubuntu 16.04. That for some reason didn't drop the network. I have no idea why it dropped it on Linux Mint, and I don't care too much. So the idea was then put Xubuntu on. I put Xubuntu on and it was stable, doing stuff, and then I updated, I think, to 17.10 or something like that, and man, that screwed that laptop over and out. So that was gone, and I thought, what the heck, this. So my opinion, if you need a daily driver, stay away from all the little releases. If you run Ubuntu, stay with the long-term solutions. They actually work. And for some reason, my old saying repeats here. Not every distro runs on every hardware, and for 100% not equally. So some do, some don't. So you might have a Pavilion laptop and you're a Ubuntu fan and you will figure out what the heck is not working. So then you go to Calculate Linux. Then I cannot find anything except my Voyager, which has with the power off, not power off, when it goes to sleep, it freezes. And that's the only computer where Calculate Linux does it. I've quite some computers and tried it on lots, and that is the only computer where it did it. So if that would be a laptop, then I wouldn't be able to use Calculate Linux because my laptop hardly gets rebooted. So I would need something, and that I had the same issue with MX16 on my Packard Bell laptop. It could not switch the display off properly. It was always backlighted. It's well, blackish, but backlighted. And I couldn't have that because my laptop doesn't get shut down. So I needed something which works, and then I had Calculate Linux, did it nicely, and since then it was on. And that's what I use for testing too. So I tested that with Slackware. When Slackware ran, it did a good job handling it. In a moment I've got Void Linux on it, it's handling the power nicely, everything is doing okay. I think Xubuntu did. Yeah, that did too. And MX17 I think still doesn't do it. But I mean, it's an old laptop, so I don't blame them too much. 13 years of an old laptop is quite an age. So long story short, that's new to me. Okay, long story short is, not all distros run on all hardware, so you might have to be flexible. You might have a daily driver, like where you say, oh, that works best for me. Let's say you use Xubuntu, and that's your daily driver. And then you find some niche laptop like the Pavilion laptop where it just doesn't suspend properly or hibernate or doesn't do anything properly, or even drops the wireless, which is worst. And so you would have to think differently. You would have to say, you know what, that doesn't work. Maybe I go, if you're a Ubuntu guy, maybe you want to stay Debian-ish and you try Debian. And if it does, that's fine. If it doesn't, then okay, how about trying Fedora? And my saying is always, if you don't want to be a system mechanics, or if you're not a good designer like I'm not a themer. I like distros. I like where people did all the hard work for me to make a distro look nice and functional, and having all these whistles and bells on. That's what I really like. And so for Debian, I would go MX17. There's Solid XK. It's the XFCE version. I think they have a KDE version out. I would go maybe if you're KDE guys and Xubuntu. I would for sure not go bleeding edge with KDE. That's my opinion. So there are tons of distros out right now. For example, I use Void Linux. It depends now. If I can't get the scanner running, then it's a hard thing to do. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I like the way Void Linux is running. I must say, I really like it. It's snappy, it's fast, it comes back from sleep very nicely. No glitches, it switches everything nicely off and comes back live without any glitch. It's snappy, it's very easy on the resources, and that laptop really does not have resources. It has 3 GB RAM, can't read more than that. And these 3 gigabytes, there's a shared memory on it, so dang-a-lamb, this poor thing. I have a worse laptop over here, 2 GB, and I can't do more than that. It can't even boot from a USB stick, so I have to burn a disk, which I will do, not a problem. But I need to have that scanner working. I need printing and scanning. That is mandatory for my operating systems. And I don't want to have a virtual machine running if I really need to do that. Because then, I don't know, then why not run the VirtualBox machine as a major distro right away, right? You can say, yeah, it's not that easy on your system. Well, that's true. Maybe I can go really something bare bone and just have the HP scanner running and do that. I don't know, we'll see. But the printer runs, so that's a big plus. That is a huge, big plus. But I need the scanner too. Scanner is just mandatory for me. There's just too often that you have to scan something quick, quick. That he emphasizes on quick. So, yeah, I think Jack Ockler is right when he says you can't just fancy one operating system. You can have your favorite operating system by all means. You can praise it, like I do with Calculate Linux and stuff like that. But is it the ultimate operating system? To me, it has been very, very good. For others, like who was that again? Forgot his name. The guy who got me here to... It wasn't Peter Crimson. Oh, somebody got me here to Void. You see, Elias. He was the guy telling me about Void, and I went in Void. And he tried Calculate Linux, and it was too slow on his old hardware, and Arch was even worse. So for him, Calculate Linux wasn't the proper deal, right? That cannot be true. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just bubbling around here, a little bit collecting thoughts and breaking hopefully the ice in open minds and saying, don't be too fixated on one system. Loyalty is good. Like in Irish case, he's a Gentoo guy, like does Gregor. And Irish does security stuff, and I think if he stays with Gentoo, it's a good thing. If he stops using Gentoo and use some binary stuff, he will lose lots of his skills. And I mean, he's a banker. He got money enough. He's just working for hobby, I guess. So, but he wants to do a security imperium in the US. So he's working on that too. And I think if he stays with Gentoo, that will be good for him, because use it or lose it. That's what I can say. I used Linux for a long, long time. Then I worked for an IT company, and they all were whining, no, you can't use Linux, you have to use Windows. And then I got a Windows server. Just a little thing with my Windows home server I had. I didn't figure that some of my data got corrupted by NTFS file system until I copied them over to my CentOS server. And then I figured out that lots of my data is corrupted, but you don't know that because you have them sitting on your server and you think they're safe and sound. And if you have a Windows system, nothing is safe and nothing is sound. So my personal experience, I figured that out when I needed it, when I copied it over and it says, oh, corrupted, can't, what the heck? So then I went to FreeNAS with ZFS. It's very nice, very, very, I can really recommend it. If you don't want to buy a commercial NAS, FreeNAS is the way to go. I played around with the Vault, the Debian-based NAS, and stuff like that. And FreeNAS is the only downside on FreeNAS. It's resource hungry. So you need a good CPU and you need tons of RAM if you have tons of terabyte. Even just 4-6 terabyte, you need quite some RAM to run it. Because ZFS is a little bit resource hungry, but it is an amazing, because I had hiccups, it is an amazing file system. It keeps your data safe. I can only tell, I had hard drives in distress and it came from a loose cable connection, SATA cable, and they helped me figure that out, and it was amazing. I still have 2 FreeNAS boxes running. I got Synology and I'm very happy with that too. Can't say too much about it just yet on the hardware side. I haven't had any failures yet, so I can't say. But I'm not giving up my FreeNAS. They stay for good. I've got 2 boxes, TARDIS and Centurion, and they stay with me. It's just great. They're running on a mirrored USB stick. So I've got 2 USB sticks. Nothing can ever happen. The data is encrypted. So if somebody steals the hard drive, you have to have fun with it. You have to bring it to the NSA in order to read the data, right? So they do that for you. It's the same when you lose some documents. Just call the NSA and say, look guys, I lost my resume from there and there, my references. Could you please send me a copy? And they will do that. I trust. Maybe they don't. I don't know. So, yeah, and what can I say? Yeah, don't be too stiff-necked. Not every distro works on all hardwares equally good. And like, how can I say this? Like, for me, computers are still the evidence of quantum theory. Like when I had Void installed the first time, I followed the steps out of my video, and I had the HP printer recognized could print. I said, oh great. Couldn't get the scanner. I said, Dirk, you must have made a mistake. So I uninstalled HP libgui, and so everything what came with it. And then I reinstalled it and tried to set up, and I ended up with that yellow little window, which makes me so upset. And I said, oh, maybe my symlink got erased. So created the symlink, and they say, no, it's still there. I said, oh, well, so what the heck? So how, for some reason, I could have set up at one time, like I did now. I didn't dare to do it a second time. Don't touch it. No, don't touch it. So I got my printer installed on Void on my Packard Bell computer, and I'm not touching it. I'm not going to jeopardize it anymore, because then I have to reinstall again, and I don't want to. I can only install Void Linux so often. Because after I did, how can I say this? Stress test Ghost and FreeBSD, which have done a good job when I installed the NVIDIA graphic card, I mean, that's another thing. While security is becoming more and more important, and Linux more and more popular, so you will find that people get stuff for Linux which shouldn't be there either, and it gets attention from all the spying governments, authorities, whatsoever, all these maniacs who think they have to look into your privacy, right? Doesn't matter who it is. And also with crypto, ransomware and all this rubbish. So then FreeBSD would be another way to go, right? You would have to switch off Linux compatibility, because otherwise you might just catch something from there. And I don't know how close they are Unix-wise. I will have to do some reading about it and checking some things. And Sergi is pumping me full with knowledge, but I can't read it all just yet. By the way, I start my praxis training for driving instructor tomorrow. Then I get my schedule, and I might be able to do 1 video a day. I will go to this place where I say, I make maybe 3 videos in a day and upload them one by one when I have no time in a day, or when I don't know if I have. just to keep some keep that channel rolling, right? I will always take the time to read your comments, and I mean that's the beauty. I've got 107 subscribers, far more than I ever thought I would ever have. The idea of the channel was do a tutorial, if it helps one person, job well done, and it still is that. It's just it's not my channel anymore, it's our channel, and it lives through the community, through the social network here on the channel. And I like how it works, you know, there are no hard feelings, we have different opinions sometimes. When I'm whining, nobody's there. Yeah, one guy told me, but he left, that Slackware wasn't for me. He was right and he wasn't, so I checked it out and it worked nicely on the end. It was just totally crucial hardware depending. It runs absolutely nice on the HP Pavilion, and it did a terrible job on my Voyager PC. Why? I have no idea. Do I want to investigate? No. That's the thing, you know, you don't have to. You can just jump to a different distro and try it out, and if it works, it's just fine. So, and with my gaming laptop, I really don't want to give that up yet, because I have it all installed, all up and set up and running, and I like it so far. Look, it's still installing. There's something off here. I don't like that center. It says installed, so maybe it works. Let's say updates. I don't know what it's doing. That is... it's you know, the Xubuntu Rego is maybe not the best, but it's still better than that piece of software. At least it does not work here properly on Xubuntu. I have no idea why and what. And I would kick it out. It was a mistake using it. So, because I had the Naptics and I couldn't find Steam, and I said, maybe they have it somewhere here in the software center, easier to find. I just believe it's not there, and this piece of software is rubbish in my opinion. And I mean, it's 1604 what I'm running here. I'm waiting for the 1804 to come out and run my tests, and then I take it from there. And I liked KDE for a long time, until they just run through the development that you have new developments coming out which break old ones, and the new ones don't work either. That was to me becoming unreliable and more frustration, and it disturbed my workflow, and I couldn't get anything done. So I jumped off KDE. So, however, you can run whichever Linux version or FreeBSD if you want, or even any BSD version. You can go OpenBSD, FreeBSD. Who is there else? Isn't that? I think that's it, right? FreeBSD and OpenBSD. That's the one I know of. I mean, Dragonfly, I think it's based on OpenBSD. But I don't know. Dangling, I'm yawning. So, I will now check my airplane. I haven't seen my airplane for months, and we had this snow stuff and ice, and I want to see how it goes. It's minus 22, so I'm not getting the battery out for charging. I don't want to freeze my face off on the apron. So I will just see how it looks like. I got it all covered. I don't have a hanger, so I've got wing covers, canopy cover, cowling cover, and the elevators are covered. So I will see how it looks like, just to have a look. And I will upload this video, and when I come back I will see what you guys say. Yeah, let me know what you run, guys. What is your daily driver? If somebody really watched it to the end. So the question is, what is your daily driver? I might put that in the title just to get that out. That would be nice. Okay, guys, but I'm always interested, right? That's just the way I am. I hope you liked that video, and I hope I poked some ideas, opened some minds, and maybe some ideas, and get people to try out stuff. Okay, then have a good day, and I hope to see you guys soon. I'll stop that recording. Bye bye.